Welcome to the Solemn Vanguard channel, or should I say Soul Bangers channel. Today we go over how to beat deletors, and a special shout out to my friend Jay, who has multiple tops under his belt, for helping me out with this matchup as well. It's actually pretty funny to me how under the radar this deck is. We have so many people complaining about Overlords, Gredora, Chaos, without many people talking about this crazy rush deck. It has been topping consistently in Japan for quite some time now, and with a new set of support it just got a little better. How does this deck work? Basically, it has a crazy rush. Very early on, it will push you into high damage. They will ride grade 3, delete your Vanguard, making you very easy to attack, and then just play a bunch of stands together to punish you even more. Finally, we have the card that pushes all of this over the edge, Given. A card that allows them to restand their Vanguard and give it another go whilst your Vanguard is still deleted. The general game plan to beat this deck is survive that rush. Once you're able to survive their crazy rush, the scale starts tipping slightly more in your favor, depending on which deck you're running, of course. If your deck is bad at coming back from a resource disadvantage due to being forced to guard early, you will just lose. But most decks these days can start their engine on first stride and plus from there, so most of you are relatively safe. Getting into how to beat the deck. Tip 1. This is Given. Given is a cunt. If you see him in the early game and somehow have the opportunity to destroy him, do it. He's the card that makes their whole rush extra scary. Tip 2. They run 4 of this starter because it allows them to replenish some field after a given skill, whilst also countercharging, which is an absolute necessity for this deck. If you run any kind of deck that can get rid of starters, like let's say you have a Duplex Dragon in ZTB or a Gatling Claw Dragon in Overlords, use it. Furthermore, in Overlords, you could use Conroe to fetch a Gatling Claw to nuke this starter. Tip 3. This G-Guard is annoying. For every face-up deleter on their Vanguard circle, Rearguard circle, or G-Zone, your whole front row loses minus 1000 until the end of your turn. So if you can empty their board before attacking, that can have loads of value, especially since a lot of their skills require them to retire things, so that also gives you an edge on the next turn. Apart from that, if your deck has back row attackers, be sure to make good use of them. This G-Guard can't get to them. Don't forget though, they have access to La Cuscarina, so also be mindful of that when placing key pieces in your back row. I hope for you that that key piece is called Melania or Shipra. Tip 4. As mentioned earlier with Greyend, they're able to delete your Vanguard the second they ride grade 3. This means you will be deleted before stride. Make sure you guard a lot early so you can deal with being deleted and taking some damage later. Tip 5. It isn't bright to great stall against this deck to get first stride. Remember, their deck thrives off deleting you before stride. If you give them 2 grade 3 turns instead of 1, they'll happily take it. If you manage to roll highest with the dice, be happy for once. Tip 6. Remember that AO Diane can also delete your Vanguard. Don't just assume the early game is the only scary part about this deck. Their end game is pretty painful as well. However, it's a lot less scary when you're at least able to fight back. Tip 7. Remember that this deck will run a lot of stands. Usually it doesn't even run crits. Keep this in mind when thinking about how you guard. Finally, tip 8. Don't give them a lot of counterblast early. Heck, if you can afford to not even give them any, go ahead. But you still want to be attacking to plus somehow, so you will have to find some middle of the road. If they call rearguards, just keep attacking those. Don't call extra rearguards, there's really no point in the beginning. Anyway, this was it for this video. If you found this interesting, please subscribe to the Solemn Vanguard channel for more and click the bell button to stay up to date. Finally, which how to beat should I make next? I will see you soon. Ciao.